Hi everyone, my name is Rick and I welcome you back to my channel. If you are new here, my channel usually features what's going on in my backyard, mostly Hoyas, but I also have orchids and some aroids, lots of philodendrons, and some tropical landscape plants. So basically every week I just go around and I show what's going on. I show new Hoyas that I acquire through imports and some of my hybrids and seed pods, how to take care of Hoyas and all that stuff. So let me take you around the yard and show you what's going on this week. So today is Friday. I decided to shoot the video today because I have a lot going on this weekend, and I actually have to go to my greenhouse and water everything on Sunday because I have to do that every 5 days now. I used to do it once a week, but I figure that it's getting hotter. It's probably a good idea to water the plants every 5 days, and I'll keep an eye on that. If it requires for me to go up there more often, I'll go every 4 days and water everything. Everything is growing like crazy over there. Eventually I will do a video of the plants that are in there for you guys, but right now I'm still working on it and bringing plants there all the time. So let me just show you some of the stuff that's going on. There's quite a few things going on of interest. This is a great time of year for gardening in Florida because it's not crazy hot, not crazy humid, so you can actually still do some yard work and not faint from being overexposed to the heat. So my microphone hasn't come in yet, so I'll try to talk louder, but I will get one. I know that some people have mentioned that my voice sometimes cuts out or is not loud enough. So let me just show you a few plants that are really being cute back here. This little orchid is super cute, really tiny, and I actually have a tag for it. It's an Epi Serena O'Neill crossed with the Encyclia cordigera. So it's a really attractive green color against that purplish lip. So let's see over here, the seed pod. It's taking a lot longer for him to mature than I thought. So this seed pod is probably close to 8 weeks and it still hasn't opened yet. So yeah, the orchids are all putting out new buds and blooming, so it's a good time of year for that too. And I think if you have watched my previous video, I showed you, this is like not even a week ago, these seed pods were about half the size of this, and now they're, as you can see, the growth rate from the first couple weeks is slow, and then it goes into this rapid growth rate on the seed pods. So these are probably 3-4 weeks old now. You can see they're pretty big. Maybe they're full size, I'm not sure, but I will keep you updated. And this is Hoya AH733. You can see it has really nice textured leaves, veins. It's kind of waffly as well, and it's crossed with Hoya EPC 605, which is a pink rigida with really kind of nice big flowers for rigida. So lots going on. This Hoya again is going to bloom. This is when AH773, multiple peduncles there. And this guy over here, the veining, I think this is 247, and the edge on this is getting crazy dark. See, I can focus on this, but it's a really pretty Hoya. It's getting prettier as it matures. And this Hoya over here is 35. As you can see, the new leaf is quite beautiful, very dark edge, and it is going to bloom. And my seed pods in my Cambodia are getting ready. I'm thinking in a few days, maybe less than a week, these will be popping open. And this is what they call, this is a carnosa. They call it Hoya Wilber graves from China. It's quite splashy, as you can see. And apparently splashy these days is what sells a Hoya. If a Hoya has splash, you can charge, people will bid it up way high. You can see this one is pretty splashy, and it's a first time bloomer. And here's the peduncle. It's just a carnosa, but it's quite splashy. And it's in this little 2-inch pot that I put in these alligator clip holders. That's what they call them, I think. So yeah, it's pretty happy here, and I'm actually excited to have this thing bloom. And I brought down the New Guinea Ghost. This Hoya at one time was really pricey. I think at one time it sold like 2 leaves for like over $1,000. But now the prices have gone down. I actually saw a rooted node for less than $100 because it's a fast grower. It is quite a really beautiful Hoya. If you let it sun stress a little bit, it gets really nice pink color to it. It's super splashy. You can't even see the green underneath it. If you look at it, there's a few openings, but it's almost completely covered in splash. So yeah, so I brought it out here so it will enjoy the spot, because a lot of Hoyas on this side of the house for some reason do much better for me. I think it's either the afternoon sun that it gets about 2 hours of afternoon sun or something, but it does really well. And this is a Hoya Cystiantha Splash. I have it in a really loose mix of coconut and perlite, and it almost froze over winter, but it seems to be making a comeback. There's actually a new growth tip somewhere. And I wanted to show you my Hoya sulawesiana. I think is going to bloom at least, this is unusual. There's 2 peduncles coming out of this node, this tip of the node there, and it's going to bloom. There's quite a few flowers on there. And there's another peduncle on here. Oh, here's the other. This is my first peduncle that it bloomed on, and as you can see, these tend to be pretty long, these peduncles. So I don't know if these will get any longer than that, but I'm kind of excited to have 2 peduncles. And this Hoya over here is Hoya EPC 202. I'm sorry, 1002. And it's hard to remember all these IMLs, EPCs. There's a numerous collection, initials and numbers, and there's probably over 1,000, so it's kind of hard to remember. And sometimes my labeling is not that visible, so I have to guess most of the time. So, but this is definitely 1002, and these flowers get, when they're not fully reflexed, they look really exciting, and that against that yellow corollas, the pink really sticks out. And this one is even more close to closing up. As you can see, these are quite attractive flowers, and it has so many of them. It has, as you can see, 3 down here, and it's climbed up all the way up the tree. It's kind of hard to tell, but there's 2 up there, and there's 1 up there on the branch. So this Hoya has traveled pretty much all over this tree here. So over here, here's Hoya Candy Crush. It's a Hoya Purpurofusca crossed with verticillata type Hoya RHM 1, and it's quite beautiful. It's pretty fragrant. It smells like a verticillata, and it has like a two-toned corollas. I don't know if you could see them there. And my little project over here that I've been working on is this live oak tree here. It's kind of straggly. There's quite a few branches coming off the ground here. And so what I did, as you can see, is the next door neighbor was cutting down some of his branches. So I took some of them and I put them in between my tree trunks and use it to support this Jose Bueno, and I'm mounting orchids. So this is by no means finished. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress. And this is a Mexicanum. As you can see, I haven't even zip tied it. I'm gonna mount it to the big branch there because this is a pretty large Mexicanum here. And this is a crystallinum over there, and there's some Philodendrons. But I'm gonna put more Hoyas and Discidias over there on that branch. And down here I have a bromeliad, and I did get another piece of wood that was cut, and I'm gonna nail it over there so it's more stable. And I'm gonna put more Hoyas and sphagnum moss and the Spanish moss. And over here I have a Hoya latifolia, an EPC 317, a Hoya Swiffer's Treat, and it's blooming again. It's going to bloom soon off that same peduncle. And I have a peach bellini over here, and over here I have that Joy Jennifer that everyone seems to like. So this is a great spot for them, and I'm just going to let them be in here all summer. So this is the project I'm working on. So let me know what you think. Any suggestions or ideas would be great. Yeah, I have all these projects going on because, as you know, garden work is always a work in progress. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna put this varicosum up there, but it's over here, one of the plants I'm gonna choose from. So that's what's going on over there. There's more peduncles forming on this Phytoanoides. And just lots of stuff going on. I wish I had help sometimes, which I do. So a neighbor up the street, Lily, sometimes comes down and helps me water and fertilize plants, and that's really nice. So this is the backyard, and this Jose Bueno's getting out of control. He's once in a while he falls into the pathway, so I have to straighten him out. I'm going to eventually train him up this palm tree, but I think I need to move some of these orchids and Hoyas that are there. So this whole area here is kind of a work in progress. These plants are all going to eventually shift from this area either into the new little project that I'm working on, or these are either going to be going into the greenhouse. Yeah, but there's a lot of change going to happen here. So I'm just going to go over a few plants I've gotten somewhat recently. This is a Ring of Fire, and he might make it into that new project that I have on the tree. I might mount him or figure out a way to have him just hanging under that space. That'll look beautiful. And Hoya occultata. It did stop for a couple weeks of not having any blooms, but it's making up for it, and it has like 3 peduncles, and one of them should be opening up soon. And my Hoya amicalibis is blooming again. It was in bloom, I think, a couple weeks ago, and these blooms last quite a long time. You can see they have like little furry little bells. It's quite cute, and it blooms quite often from what I see. because it has this blooming here, and I just noticed another peduncle there and another peduncle here, there. So it's definitely happy. It's not putting out a lot of new growth, but maybe out here in the summer with this heat and humidity that we're going to be getting, it'll put out a lot of new growth, and I can get a bigger plant and maybe do some propagating it from cuttings. So yeah, it's a really beautiful Hoya. I really love it. And here is my Hoya species Germany. The name of this Hoya is a little bit intriguing because no one really knows the story. And the story that I hear, and I haven't been able to confirm, is that someone went over to Southeast Asia, got a piece of this Hoya somewhere, either at a nursery or in the jungle, brought it back to Germany, and hence the name Hoya species Germany. The leaves get quite big. This is one of the bigger leaves here. And if you buy one online, they usually have leaves, about that size. And once the plant matures, the leaves get bigger and bigger. And I'll show you some of the bigger leaves. This leaf here is probably a couple years old. It's pretty big. It's pretty veiny. And as you can see, the leaves vary in size. I think as the plant matures, the leaves get bigger. And as you can see, this leaf is quite stunning. This is the newest leaf, probably a couple months old. It's very textured, very veiny. And this is the second time it has bloomed for me this season. This is the second year it's been blooming for me. So yeah, the flower is quite different from Hoya Jennifer, which is a hybrid, and people a lot of times confuse the two, but they're definitely two different Hoyas. So yeah, so it's easy to grow. I have it in my garden. It gets rainwater when it rains. I forget to water it a lot when it's dry, so it's pretty resilient to neglect. It probably needs a changing of mixture. I've had it in here in this mix under a tree for about 3 years, and you can see there's all kinds of twigs and dead leaves in there. So a change of mix is probably in the cards for it this summer. So yeah, this is Hoya species Germany. It's really super easy, and as you can see, these leaves are super attractive. So if you like large veiny leaves, this is the Hoya for you. And up here, and this is another one that's gonna go into the new project that I'm working on, is this Philodendron Pariso Verde. As you can see, it's quite a stunner. It's super beautiful and splashy green and yellow. The new leaves are really putting out some exquisite color, and as you can see, it's really happily growing. I've had this for about I would say about a month. It came from Thailand, so I was surprised at how well it had traveled. So my Pariso Verde Philodendron, it's probably going to go in my new project there. And before I leave you today, I would like to show you guys this Preparato species Brazil. I've had it for I think a couple years, and it's bloomed for me all the time. This is probably the 4th time it's bloomed. It's beautiful. It's super fragrant. It seems really easy to take care of if I haven't had any problems, since I'm not the best orchid person, and basically living in Florida, it makes it a lot easier to grow these things outside. They basically take care of themselves, so usually not a lot of pest problems with them, as long as the humidity is high and you remember to fertilize them, they do well. So yeah, this is Preparato species Brazil, and I'd like to thank everyone for coming to my channel every week, and please come back next week when I upload another video showing you some of my backyard. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Bye-bye.